In a valley covered with silver fog and glowing trees, there lived a man named Eshan. He was strong, brave, and known across the land, but also known for his anger. If someone spoke against him, his voice would shake the air. If a villager made a mistake, Eshan's temper would roar like thunder in the mountains. Even the birds stopped singing when he shouted. The children whispered, "Eshan is a storm in human form." His wife, Mira, often said softly, "Why do you let small things rule your peace?" But Eshan always replied, "If people don't respect me, should I stay silent? The world listens only to strength." He didn't know that his anger wasn't strength. It was a chain, and he was dragging it everywhere he went. One morning, something strange happened. The villagers saw a glowing figure walking through the mist. He wore robes white as moonlight, his eyes calm and deep. No one knew where he came from. Some said he was a sage from the northern peaks. Others said he was not human at all. The figure sat under an ancient tree near the river. The tree's leaves shimmered like glass. People whispered, "He listens to the wind. They say his words can cool fire." That evening, Mira told Eshan, "Go meet the monk. Maybe he can help you find calm." Eshan laughed bitterly. "A monk? What can a man who hides from the world teach me? He doesn't know what it means to face fools and liars." But that night, Eshan could not sleep. His heart felt heavy, as if his anger had turned into stones. When dawn broke, he saw smoke rising from the hills. A farmer had burned part of his fence by accident. Eshan's blood boiled. He ran, shouting, "Do you think my hard work is a joke?" The poor farmer trembled and ran away. Eshan's chest ached. Even victory felt like pain. He sat on a rock, breathing hard. The wind whispered through the valley, carrying the monk's calm presence to his mind. For the first time, Eshan felt small in his own storm. He walked slowly toward the ancient tree. The monk sat there, eyes closed, listening to the rustle of leaves. When Eshan stopped before him, the monk opened his eyes and said quietly, "Sit, child of fire." Eshan frowned. "Fire?" The monk smiled. "Yes, you burn everything around you, and you burn yourself too." Eshan hesitated but sat down. After a long silence, the monk asked, "Tell me, when someone makes you angry, how long does that fire stay?" Eshan thought. "Sometimes an hour, sometimes all day." The monk nodded. "And when it fades, how do you feel?" "Empty, tired, like something inside me broke." The monk picked up a bowl of water from beside him. He said, "This water is calm now, but if I shake it, you cannot see your reflection." He stirred it with his hand. Ripples broke the surface. When your mind shakes with anger, truth disappears. Eshan stared, silent. The monk asked softly, his voice like the wind before dawn, "When your heart becomes fire, will you feed it or let it die?" The question hit Eshan harder than any shout ever had. He didn't know how to answer. That night, as he walked home, his reflection followed him in the river, blurred, trembling, uncertain. He whispered to himself, "If I keep feeding this fire, what will remain of me when it burns everything else?" The moonlight fell on his face. For the first time in years, he didn't feel angry. He felt lost, but also free. He didn't know it yet, but the monk's words had already begun to change him. The next morning, the valley was silent. Eshan returned to the ancient tree, but the monk was gone. Only a faint line was drawn in the soil, as if someone had written with their finger and disappeared. He bent down and saw words carved in the dust. "The one who controls his anger controls himself." Eshan stared for a long time. The wind passed softly through the valley, and for a moment it sounded like the monk's voice whispering again, "Now the world will test you." Eshan smiled faintly. "I am ready." The very next day, the test began. At the market, a trader tried to cheat him. Eshan's heart beat fast, his chest tight, and the old fire began to rise from the ashes inside him. But he remembered the monk's words, "When the water shakes, you can't see your reflection." He took a deep breath and said quietly, "I'll buy only from those who are honest. Lies deserve pity, not anger." People turned in surprise. The same man who once made the market tremble was now walking away with peace. Days passed. One evening, a few young men mocked him, shouting, "Look, the angry lion has turned into a saint." Eshan stopped. The heat rushed to his face. His fists clenched. For a second the fire almost won, but then he smiled. Those who burn inside need laughter to hide their pain. He walked away. Behind him the air felt lighter, like even the wind respected his calm. Time passed. Eshan's face began to glow with a quiet strength. Children played near his home again. Women blessed him when he passed. Men came to seek his advice. One morning a small boy asked, "Uncle Eshan, don't you ever get angry anymore?" Eshan laughed gently. "I do, my boy, but now I've made peace with it." Peace? Yes. When anger visits me, I tell it to sit down first. We'll think before we speak. That evening, Eshan returned to the old tree by the river. The monk wasn't there, but the air carried a familiar peace. The leaves shimmered as if smiling from above. Eshan looked toward the sky and whispered, "I understand now, Master. The world doesn't need to change. Only the way I see it does." He looked into the river. For the first time, his reflection was clear, steady, whole. "When I stopped reacting," he said softly, "I started living." The wind stirred, and for a moment it sounded like laughter from the mountains. A peaceful kind of laughter that said, "Now you are free." From that day on, people called him the calm one of the valley. Whenever someone felt lost or angry, they came to him. He would say, "We all carry a storm inside us. But peace isn't found by running away. It's found by learning to stand still." He smiled, watching the sunset fade behind the glowing hills, and whispered to himself, "True strength isn't shouting. It's staying peaceful when the world tries to shake you." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because every story here helps you find peace, strength, and the calm within your storm.